Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Esoteric Atlanta. Of course, my name is Brice. Sarah is setting herself up right now. I just said, I'm hitting record.
Let me get the tea.
She's like, hold on, I gotta reboil it. So this is our monthly check-in to see what's going on in this crazy timeline that we find
Yes.
ourselves living in. How hectic, beautifully chaotic, beautifully chaotic. I know you're getting set up, Sarah. I was just saying before we came on screen that you look like the Queen Boudica herself with your hair and your eyes and
thank you, as do you. We have that whole Palladian Celtic Druid nest.
yeah, well, that's the thing too. And I know you are specifically very, very drawn to the Celtic culture. And that is so, and I think Boudica is really, I think, within our truth or world, we were talking about this off camera. We know there's a lot of infiltration, there's a lot of misinformation, and a lot of people still want to look at the Druids and the Celtic people as being like satanic when it was actually the church all along. And
they weren't bad.
No, my deep dive into Boudica really showed me where the propaganda started between the quote unquote Roman Empire, or whatever you want to call it, the controllers, to take out these other cultures that were very, very, very special. And a lot of people, that's again the beautiful thing about the 12 tribes of Israel, that we're learning the real 12 tribes of Israel are the galactic ones. And that's within your DNA. And so regardless of what race you are, white, black, Asian, doesn't matter, you have all of these different strands of DNA. Your physical appearance is just more of the dominant DNA. But even if you are black per se, you probably have some Celtic in you as well, some Boudica magic in you as well, And so Native American, it's all so really cool and fascinating, and that's what that to me is the real cool part of this awakening. I'm over the fake intel. I'm over the political side of it. I'm just kind of over it. I'm like, I want to know who we really are. What's our real story? And what's coming out. I'm gonna go ahead. I got some new sage this morning.
Nice, thank you.
Go ahead and sage again. We are in a Mercury retrograde right now, you guys. So if there's any technical problems, we'll just blame it on Mercury.
Absolutely. And as you do that, I'm going to say a few more prayers silently.
Okay. All right, you go ahead and do that. I am going to ask that all of my guides and all of Sarah's guides for our highest good be here in this moment. Any nefarious beings, human or otherwise, that wish to infiltrate this recording, I'm asked that they be escorted off the premises. I do not consent, and I revoke permission to use my wounds as an entry point. This is for the highest good of everybody watching right now.
That was beautiful.
We both have green on. I just realized that, Sarah. We both have green on today.
We do?
I've got a darker green on.
Oh, that's neat. And I told you I was going to wear a different color, and then I was like, no, I'm going to go for this green.
Yeah, I just realized that I've been teaching this morning, and you look all pretty. But before we get into the reading, actually, you guys, Mercury retrograde. I do want to remind you guys to make sure that you go over to Sarah's channel, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, the notification bell, and then if you want to go to her website to book a private reading with Sarah, her website is right here. You just click on that link, and it will take you right to her private website where you can book a private reading with Sarah. I've had a private reading done. It's pretty phenomenal, the stuff that comes up in the tea leaf reading. While she's setting up, I just lost you, Sarah.
Oh, I can hear you, but I see the screen is completely frozen.
That is
end and your end.
There's our Mercury, guys. There's our Mercury.
There it is. There it is.
Well, while she's figuring it out, guys, I'm just going to remind you that with this reading, we're not reading for a specific person. This is a collective reading.
Whatever.
And so take what resonates, leave what doesn't.
I can hear you, but everything is completely frozen on my end.
Interesting.
I'll close the screen just for a second, and then I'll open it up again and see if that will maybe help.
Okay.
Make it work. No, apparently not.
Do you want to try exiting and coming back in?
Okay, I'll do that. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay. Marky, I can't even exit.
Are you serious?
I'm on my phone, as I always am. This has never happened. Everyone watching can corroborate that. I am tapping my screen and nothing is happening. I can't even. I'm gonna have to take it off my hang on 1 second.
Do you know what
I hope. Okay.
I could
Sorry,
try to
what?
do is I could try to end the meeting and then you can just log back in with the same link.
Well, maybe let me just try and see if I can close the app and see if that works.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if that's going to work or not. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't even. Zoom is totally gone. It's not even working at all on my end.
Let me just ask Spirit something quickly.
A little bit. Oh, hang on. It's opening up again. Oh, hang on. It's thinking. Now I have a black screen.
Interesting. I hold on one second. I just asked Spirit a question. Oops.
Oh, okay. It's asking me if I want to close the app. So I'm going to close the app and then I'll log right back in. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay. Hello? Oh.
Two of you are We've got two Sarahs in the house now. One's
Oh,
and one's well, I'll ask you. Oh, there we go. I'll ask you, Sarah. So it's working now. How you feel about this? I just asked Spirit. I said, are we supposed to do this episode tomorrow? Meaning Monday. I got the Empress, the Page of Swords, the Temperance, the Tower, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands, which is a yes. How do you
yes.
feel?
Totally fine with me.
Okay, I'm
Completely fine
actually
with
going to
me.
leave this as our entrance to the video, and then I'll hook it on to what we film tomorrow because this is hysterical. So,
Totally fine.
because something kept telling me, do it Monday instead, do it Monday instead. So I don't know. It looks like with the Temperance card, there might be more information.
Maybe, I mean, we are talking about the Celtic stuff and how the Celtic spirituality and how I adore it. And the good half of like the positive light side of May 1st, which is tomorrow, and we're recording this on Sunday, is May 1st. It's Beltane. It is the welcoming of the light half of the year. It's a fire festival. It brings in the good and the vitality and the love and the positivity. And it's like a heralding on all of the good and all of the positive and all of the life force. That's the good part of Beltane. That's what I've always acknowledged. So I'm
So
wondering if that has a bit of a connection to that. What do you
I
think?
was going to air this on May 1, but now you're saying that I think they're waiting for the energies. I know too, I just found out that there looks like there's about to be a huge Hollywood strike happening tomorrow too. So it looks like a lot of stuff is happening tomorrow. So should we
Okay.
take that as a sign from Boudica
Sure.
herself
Okay.
and film
Sounds
this
good.
tomorrow? All right,
Totally
cool.
fine with me.
Same
I have a
time.
story to tell you. I have a story to tell you off air if that's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
But stay on Zoom because tomorrow is going to play right after this. So just keep watching the episode, guys.
Yeah. Just hang in
All
there.
right.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, we're back again the next day. As you saw from the little intro, we had to stop that recording and come in on May 1. So I had the beautiful Sarah here. And I told her when she signed on, girl, you can pull off red. I can pull off.
Well, orange red. We have to be us Leos have to be very selective of what colors we wear.
You look gorgeous, my dear. And oh, thank you. Well, I always say that. Like, listen, in this war that we're in right now, like our side's way cuter.
It's true.
I'm not trying to be vain or anything, but look at everybody. Look at your friends that are awake, and look at all the truthers, seekers out there. Like,
they all look amazing.
Everybody
They're beautiful.
Beautiful and young, and there's a light that shines from their eyes. And like, you look at people on the other side, and it's like wah wah. But if you're on the other side and you want to join our side, the light's available to you too, my friends. So
it's not too late.
It's never too late. You can't kill a soul. It's never too late.
No.
But before we get started, guys, since we had an interruption, I thought, well, this is a good area to put this in. A special little word from our sponsor, which as always is ASEA. So if
Yay.
you guys want, and Sarah's been doing the gel. I think she's about to talk to
Yep.
Jane herself. So if you guys are from Canada, I've gotten a lot of messages from Canadians. There might be an easier availability coming to you soon. Just hold on. We
Wait
on
for it. Wait for
our
it.
side of this battle, we want everybody to be healthy. We want everybody to be abundance. There's abundance and health, wealth. That's there for everyone, right? That's what we want for humanity. We want people to be healthy. We want people to be happy. We want people to be at peace. We want people to feel prosperity in all areas of their life. But ASEA, guys, which again is is my sponsor, ASEA, they're an amazing company. It's a redox system, which I was telling Sarah and her mom about this. So basically what redox is, again, redox is your signaling system. So when we have iPhones, a cell phone, if there is no signal, then the cell phone's not going to work, right? Like it's just not going to work. If there is no no matter how fancy that the cell phone is, if there's no signal, it's not going to work. So the redox is your signaling system. So when you were a child, when you were really, really young, you had a bunch of redox. That's why kids recover quickly from accidents, from sicknesses. But as we get older, we start to lose redox. So when you start to do ASEA, what ASEA does is it reactivates that signaling system. And it comes there, the main part of ASEA is the what you drink, right? So it's a liquid that you drink. You drink 4 to 8 ounces a day. They come with a little shot glass, and so you swish it around for 30 seconds to 60 seconds in your mouth, and then you swallow it, and it gives your body the ability, which is something that Western medicine does not do. But the ASEA gives your body the ability to send the redox to the area of your body that needs it the most, right? So whether that's knee issues, kidney issues, digestion issues, headache, whatever, your body's going to take that intelligence and use it where it needs to. There's also the Renew 28, which I sent to Sarah and her mom. And I've been using this sucker on my thighs, guys. And so the difference between the gel and the liquid is that you get to direct the gel where you want the gel to go. So if you have a bum elbow, if you have a bum shoulder or a bum knee, I was just telling Sarah's mom, if you have like a knee ache or a finger ache or elbow ache, you put it on 3 times in 5 minutes, and that should send the redox directly into the fascia. Now, they have new products as well. They have, of course, the skincare system, which I released a video the other day of me unboxing the skincare system. Now, I am heavily shadow banned at the moment, so if you guys could share these videos, Sarah and I would both appreciate it. But they have a new skincare line, which is it's good for people with sensitive skin. It's not very harsh, and obviously uses the redox to go into the, kids don't have wrinkles and all that kind of stuff, right? Like it helps your body, your skin, your skin is your biggest organ. And so it helps your skin recreate the cells, the signaling system, so the cells within your skin can heal themselves. And so once again, guys, the websites can be a little bit confusing because honestly, this product is growing faster then the people at the corporate office are prepared. And so the website, if you're confused by the website, please, even if you're not confused by the website, I would highly suggest texting Jay at 321-216-8047. That number is down in the description box below, and Jay can walk you through everything. He's been with the company for a while now, and he can help you figure out what products you're going to want, the best value. He can probably help you get wholesale prices for some products, because the most important thing for us is that you have that health at your fingertips. So with that being said, guys, once again, if you want to learn more about ASEA, 321-216-8047. And then let's move on now to Miss Sarah and our May tea leaf reading.
Yay! I'm excited to see what's going to come up for the month of May for everyone watching. It just seems like I actually did my most recent biweekly tea leaf reading on my channel. It looks like it's going to be a very interesting. Well, it had headed into this week and heading into next week is how far it went. It looked like it was going to be quite interesting. So I'm very curious what's going to come up today.
Me too, you guys. I will say too, again, we're doing just a general reading. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. There could be some things that resonate with you and some things that don't. We're just actually, while you're setting that up, Sarah, I'm just going to light my little sage on.
Oh, yes, please. Kick out all those yuckies.
Oh, well, that's kind of.
Shall we reschedule another?
So I'll tell you, we'll see.
Part 3.
I always light a candle to light my sage because it's a bitch to light sage sometimes. And
Oh,
like
it's not easy.
I accidentally put the candle out with the sage. I got this huge sage wand from my friend Cindy. If you're in the Atlanta
Nice.
area, Cindy at Sacred Garden Yoga in Marietta suburbs, she has a ton of fun. She's got so much sage, Palo Alto, dragon's
Nice.
blood, all that kind of stuff at her chalice. So you can, if you need something in like ASAP, if you're in the area, you can always go by Cindy's. It's her yoga chalice. She calls it her mystery school, which I love, saying that I teach at a mystery school. But she
Oh,
has,
that's so cool.
yeah, so I got my new sage wand yesterday, and I'm going to call in all the beings of our highest good to be in this area and to allow the information to come out that needs to come out for whoever's listening. So again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We've got a lot of spirit guides from everybody watching that's, giving information to a lot of people right now. So just take what resonates for you, leave what doesn't. So be it.
Absolutely. And we also ask for cloaks of invisibility, anonymity, and inaudibility. Any yuckies are not allowed here. Gotta go.
Got to go.
Not allowed. Okay, I'm just getting the tea leaves ready here. So, and again, in entertainment purposes only. So let me just get the leaves ready again. I'm swirl the cup, and this is a general reading for everyone watching for the month of May. Just take it a little bit more water. It looks very strange using Kleenex, but it works. The strain out, it works.
I'm a big fan of the Kleenex. I got
so random
around here, so.
Oh, have to have Kleenex. It's funny because I just jokingly say to clients, like whenever I used to have like in like face-to-face readings before everything happened a few years ago, I'd always say tools of the trade, pens, paper, and Kleenex. Usually I'm the one who needs the Okay, so I have the cup ready. I flipped it over. I'm going to turn it 3 or 4 times, depending whatever I feel guided to. 3. I always turn it like above the plate so I'm not scratching the cup. Okay. It's going to be an interesting meeting. I'm just letting it drip dry right now. I'm just collecting any excess liquid that prevents any liquid pooling at the base and changing images at the base.
And again, guys, while she's doing that, I'm going to remind you, I know we said this in the beginning of the video before we got cut off and had to refilm today. Go to Sarah's website if you would like to have a private tea leaf reading. That is just your stuff, and it's private. I've had a private tea leaf reading with Sarah. It's unbelievable. So her information will be down in the description box below, so you can check out her website and book an appointment with her.
Thank you. If anyone is interested, they can just email me. That's how it is on my website. I don't even use a contact form anymore, just to keep it one less mode of like interference along the way. So just if anyone wants to email me, that would be lovely. Okay, this is just about ready. There's a lot of like liquid coming out, so this is taking a bit longer, I think, than normal.
I wonder what that means, Spirit.
Well, all I can say is liquid, like water, that's emotions, that's intuition, that's healing. I'm likely going to need to dab this again in the base in a few minutes anyway, so let's just leave it for there. Oh, hang on, bit more's coming out.
Ooh. When this World War III is finished and done with, I'm gonna have to like find my grandmother's recipe from South Georgia of sweet tea and make it for your mom. She put pineapple juice because in the South we don't drink hot tea, we drink cold tea. It's sweet tea.
Grandma, I don't even drink hot tea. Don't like it.
If you ask a Southerner about tea, they think of a big old glass with ice and like sweet tea. Yeah,
sounds delicious. I've never had sweet tea.
Oh, really? We grew up. It's too hot down here. It's too damn hot to drink hot tea. Like, and my grandmother from South Georgia, she would put pineapple juice in it. She had her own little spell. Everybody's grandmama has their own sweet tea recipe down here in the South, and she would. I gotta find that recipe though. See, one of my aunts has it. She would put pineapple juice in it. That was her sweet tea.
That sounds amazing.
Very.
Also, I love pineapple juice. Anything in pineapple? So good. Well, I had
dirty.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say something dirty. Apparently, if you eat pineapple, it makes you taste better.
Oh,
not in like the cannibalistic way, but like in the
no,
that's not
we don't do yucky things like that.
No. I mean, in the good kind of. I don't know.
Conversation takes twists and turns very quickly. Sorry.
That's just what I've heard, though. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
We don't know. We don't know. That's what we think. Okay, this is going to be an interesting month, I think, for anyone who's watching. Okay, let me just very delicately dab a little bit more liquid. I knew it was going to pull in the base. There was so much coming out. 1 second. All right. So did you want to aim for like another half an hour, like last time?
Yeah, let's do half an hour. I'm looking. I'm gonna
Half an
put
hour.
on the screen because there's no need to see me right now. So I'm gonna put Sarah on the screen to do a reading, and yeah, I'll count you down, girl.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm ready. Everyone ready? Here are the tea leaves for May. And I haven't looked too closely, but it looks like it's going to be quite busy. And the base is very intriguing too.
I was about to say, there's a lot down there.
There's a lot. And like if anyone's watched these kinds of videos before and how everyone reads differently in tea leaf reading, I just do it chronologically. That's how I've always done it. So it's now on the way in later. The rim is the present situation. Sides are on the way. The base is more of the distant future. So in this case, start of May, during May, end of May, heading into June, which is crazy. We're even talking about June already. Like, how fast is this year going? It's insane. Okay, this is definitely going to be a very busy month. All right. So let's start at the beginning. Let's begin at the beginning. Okay, this is basically overall a very busy start to the month. I would say that I'm just going to turn up my lighting here. Sorry. I have my ring light and I always keep it down because my eyes are sensitive to light sometimes. Okay, that's better. There's one main event or situation taking place this month at the start of the month. It's actually interesting because at first I thought, oh, there's one huge one. And then as I look closer, it's actually in three different parts. So I would say that there's likely there's one situation that may look like there's even like it's one scenario, but really it's in 3 different sections. But of those 3, there's actually one in particular that is more significant than the others. And again, in those scenarios, it may feel like you're like things are calm and clear and quiet, and we're happy with that, and or we want things to get moving a bit more. Aside from that, and those are quite significant. Aside from that, there's just a lot of busyness, a lot of different things taking place all at once. It's just an incredibly, incredibly busy time. And if you look, I'm teaching a little bit here, but if you look at the rim, you can see how much there is on the rim right there, right at the top, or right on the rim itself. That's what I'm referring to. There's just a lot of different things taking place, like today, like at the start of this month. A lot of different scenarios. Okay. Let's go a little bit deeper now. I'll quickly look at those. One of those situations involve house and or home, thinking of moving. This may even have a farming connection, like a farmhouse potentially of some kind. And there's messages, news, and or information that's involved with that specifically. Another scenario does involve, excuse me, reassurance regarding, I would say, paperwork or education of some kind. There's no open book, so I just say education to cover all the bases. There's like 7 different meanings books to me have. Education, wisdom, knowledge, reading a book, writing a book, taking a course, teaching a course. Any of the above, I would say. There are also, there's a document, a connection with a document of some kind that is related to a scenario where, again, there's reassurance and also an Aries and or Taurus connection taking place like the beginning of this month. There's also this feeling of blossoming, which is, I think, actually what I saw in the most recent tea leaf reading I did too. And I say that because there's a tiny flower that's beginning to bloom. So for me, flowers just represent how far along the situations are. So there's a scenario that looks like it's just about ready to reach fruition. So that's really good to see that things are beginning to take place. Okay. Now let's look in the cup itself, because some of those scenarios lead into events and situations which are being shown. It does appear to me that, wow, yeah, okay. So as always, as often, there is one main event or scenario which is being shown by this like cascading waterfall right here. That's what I usually call main event or situation. That's the main focus, the main message, the main event or scenario taking place throughout this month. It does begin very soon. Some of it is actually taking place like right now, today, and will be leading, I would say, until the end of the month. It does conclude, generally speaking. Generally speaking, it does conclude by the end of the month. However, two parts of it. I know that may sound vague. Two parts of it essentially lead into the base, which is the end of the month heading into June. Around the sides of the cup, we do have 1, 2, depending on you count it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, potentially approximately 8 different scenarios taking place during the month as the month progresses. They're individual in and of themselves. However, they sort of all accumulate or culminate, I guess, they all sort of like result or lead into one scenario that may involve travel of some kind. There's actually 2 parts to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of those sections, 4 of those individual events or scenarios do lead into one section, one event, and then the other 2 lead into another 2. I know that may sound sort of like vague, but hopefully that makes sense to people. And the 4 scenarios actually involve something to do with inheritance, a legacy, home and or family, generational significance, something along those lines. It's all positive. Around the top of the cup, around just below the rim, we do have multiple, I won't go into a huge amount of detail because there's just so much here, but essentially what I'm seeing is that throughout the beginning of the month, I would say if I had to place an estimate of time, within the first week, soundly within the first week, there's just a lot of things happening everywhere all at once. Some quiet times, but essentially there's just like rapid fire. Things are taking place really quickly. Action, movement, momentum around the whole cup, around the whole beginning of the month. So it's like, okay, super, super busy, calm and quiet overall. Okay. But there is reassurance that is being indicated, at least in one of the scenarios, and it does actually result in really, like, it's indicating that it's a very good scenario. There's a lot of like really good things taking place at that time. Like, it's really like we're receiving really good things. Again, some of us may be thinking of moving, and there's messages, news, and or information coming about that. If so, that's great. It just may not be like some people may be seriously considering moving. That's what that's referring to. A lot of news, information, documents, reassurance, spiritual, esoteric, sacred knowledge. There's a number 7 there. That's also involving a document, again, of some kind, and a helpful individual, likely with, this may sound very random, a prominent hairstyle. I don't know how else to describe it. A prominent hairstyle. But that results specifically in receiving very good things. Again, something to do with the house and home. A conclusion. This is all, I'm just looking at the top here. A conclusion of some kind that involves documents, action, speed, momentum, that specifically regards unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment. And it's a very good scenario. Something about the house and or home. Property, thinking of moving, renting, renovating, some connection with property. Yeah, creativity, creative projects, creating something new, new beginnings, creating something new, nurturing, self-care. There's someone who's holding a baby, so. There's a small conclusion regarding all of that, but it's a very good conclusion, and there's a happy face there, and there's positive messages, news, and or information coming about that. And again, there's a beautiful flower that's in a bud. It's just ready to start blooming. So it looks like a very good scenario. And that also involves getting things organized and tidied up, whether that is figurative or literal. Small reminder for perception: glass half full versus glass half empty. Reassurance again. A lot of action and momentum. Yeah. So there may be one of the scenarios that I mentioned where there may be a little bit of a quiet time and a bit of a lull at the beginning of the month, and you're like, there's things that speed up. Specifically, yes. And there's one area where it's going to be things happening very quickly regarding one individual, and then it just gets resolved and gets nice and quiet after that. Reassurance again. Just getting things tidied up and organized. Messages, news, and or information involved. Yes, again, I keep seeing houses. So there's some connection with houses, property, location, rent. There's a connection with houses I keep seeing repeatedly at the beginning of the month overall. Like, keep seeing houses. Forward movement, yes. Regarding that individual scenario, yes. With messages, news, and or information on the way. And it's a good scenario. Small reminder for perception, for awareness, and house as well, but there is also reassurance regarding that too. And that is specifically regarding a document of some kind. But a lot of messages, news, and or information, I keep seeing that. Okay. Conclusions as well. Another conclusion. So small conclusions. That one specifically is in regards to documents of some kind, paperwork, writing, writing things down. Okay. Now we're in the main event. Now circle the cup, and now we're in the main event. Yes, definitely action, speed, momentum, things taking place quickly. Life force, vitality, going for whatever it is that you want to have. Anything is organized. I keep seeing, second time I've seen a number 7 up near in the same vicinity up chronologically. So there's some kind of spiritual, sacred, esoteric knowledge, wisdom that is present, and that specifically is referencing something to do with, in this scenario, getting things organized and also reassurance regarding that, and that's in relation to 2 different scenarios, but also is connected to a completion of some kind, an abundance that is beginning to take form beautifully. Okay, now we're at the main event. Okay, I will take a breath and actually breathe for the first time. Okay, so definitely happiness. There's a big happy face here. Again, action, speed, momentum. There's a horse's bit. Action, speed, momentum. Things happening quickly. Life force, vitality. But also a beautiful sense of partnership. A partnership that's beginning to take place. This is open communication between 2 people and something to do with a house and your property. A lot of helpful people who are involved. I would say, and specifically one of them is a man, and the 2 people communicating, one of them is a girl. Can't say about the other one, but open communication. I keep seeing houses. Again, it's just all of this blossoming, new beginnings, things taking form, a completion. There's a lot of conclusions taking place. There's small conclusions that I keep seeing. It doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that things are wrapping up. Things are being concluded so we can move on to the next. That's all. That conclusion specifically involves the letter S. Helpful people, many helpful people are involved. Yeah, the little puppy. Unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment, as well as independent thought that's connected to the letter L, and partnerships beginning to form. Happiness. Okay. Keep seeing happy faces. I probably won't repeat that for the sake of sounding repetitive, but I keep seeing happy faces. Repeatedly. Everywhere I'm looking. It's good. It's good. Taking some time out for your own self-care, meditation, yoga, whatever that is, going within. A woman who is a fire sign. A lot of communication regarding that individual. I won't say it again for the sake of being repetitive. Many helpful people. A reminder that the angels are around us. You can ask them for help whenever you want to, and that they are involved in a scenario specifically that involves a partnership, a new idea. Something about the number 1. The number 1. Significance around that in some way. It's a loving scenario, though. It may actually involve America in some way. I'm just generally speaking, like if someone has a connection with that specifically in that scenario, like specific to them, there may be an American connection. If anything, I would hazard to say like Middle America, Central to East, but an American connection. Letter E involved with that as well. Generally speaking, overall, we're going to know where we stand with things, but there's also going to be a lot of thoughts, ideas, conversations, discussions, as well as knowing where we stand. And I know this may sound contradictory, but knowing where we stand, yes. And also at the same time, there's a lot of surprises that are part of that too. Okay, so going down further. So I would say now we're at about the first week-ish. Working with many different people. House connection again. Letter W. I'll only see this one more time. Many surprises throughout this entire scenario. Happiness. Angelic can help again. They're around us. Letter E. maybe letter F, but definitely person, place, or thing with the letter E that's involved. That involves some kind of creativity, yes, but new beginnings, new creative messages, news and/or information, reassurance, but it's a new beginning of some kind. It's a very good scenario, though, too. A lot of unconditional love. Open communication in that scenario, specifically regarding 3 different people, actually 4 people.
And Sarah, you're now at 15 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm excited for this month. It looks like it's going to be very intriguing. I just keep seeing a lot of dogs, a lot of puppies as well. Unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment, protection, and guardianship. A new idea that's being contemplated that's just about ready to be presented, and that involves a small abundance and prosperity of some kind. That is regarding a woman. Yeah. And freedom of movement with that. 2 new opportunities that are associated with that specifically, and some kind of letter M, like Magdalene, connection. Someone with, again, the letter M, stability. Possibly the letter J that's involved. Person, place, or thing. Helpful people. Reassurance. Reassurance, yes, but also potentially a Scorpio connection. And thinking of moving. Okay, going down a bit further. Reassurance. Protection. Unconditional love, support, loyalty, commitment, guardianship, protection. Nothing gets past a dragon. Nothing gets past good dragons. There's a dragon there. Like a knight in shining armor times like a 10 or 100 or 1,000. Definitely protection associated. Doesn't mean that we're in danger, just means that there's protection involved. A lot of love. A new idea, a new concept, a new opportunity that's being presented. It's a surprise. Number 3. Angelic help associated with that. Yeah. So if people are thinking of moving near the beginning of the month, what I'm seeing is the house becoming more apparent and more clear as the month progresses. So that makes sense to me. So if someone is contemplating moving or having some connection with property as the month progresses, by the middle of the month, thereabouts, it may become more obvious or more apparent or more clear, more settled. But still a lot of unknowns. Still a surprise with that. Letter W associated with that too. Partnerships. Okay, going down a bit further. Yeah, abundance and prosperity. Jumping for joy, dancing with joy. New beginning, happiness. Having fun, playfulness. New beginnings, transformation. There's a phoenix, version of a phoenix. So completely transformation, new beginnings. Letter L, associated with an individual likely, and some kind of education, knowledge, learning connection. Taurus and or Aries connection. Helpful people. Abundance and prosperity, working with people. Partnerships. No smooching yet, but I'm looking for it. Happiness, new ideas.
I was like, when do we get the good stuff? Where's the good stuff?
I'm looking. I'm not even seeing anything. I'm just seeing like a lot of like people talking.
We love a good smooch.
Haven't seen it yet. I'm working on it. There's still like half a cup to look through. Okay, let me see if I can find some smooching. God, we want smooching. Show it to us. Okay, let's see. Going down further. But there is one section overall of this whole scenario that does involve a lot of talking. It's one section that's sort of like up in the air a little bit, a lot of conversations, generally speaking. But there's a lot of like going for what you want to have. There's a lot of action, speed, momentum. Using analytical skills, critical thinking skills, logic, intellect, reassurance. Not quite the number 4. Conclusion. Connection with the house under home, family, moving, and letter E. That's later on in the month. Independent thought. Letter E again. A lot of E's and C's. W. W that's involved in a happy scenario that involves a new beginning, a new opportunity. It's being shown. Quickness, swiftness of movement, things going quickly. Someone who is like a woman specifically, who is having like 1, 2, three different thoughts, three different guidance at the same time. It may also be a woman who has two departed loved ones who is helping with them. I think our departed loved ones, in my opinion, help us all the time anyway. I'm just saying that's what I'm seeing in this one scenario. And there's also a Leo connection, I would say, that's included or associated with that as well. Just a lot of abundance, repeated scenarios of abundance. Repeatedly, especially when you get to the latter half of the month, like mid-month and onwards. I just keep seeing like repeated like abundance, individual scenarios that involve that. And also, again, a reminder that the angels are around us. So I would say that yes, when I see angels in tea leaf reading, I say that yes, they're around us. Ask for them for help should you wish to, but also that they are associated with or helping with that scenario specifically as well. And I keep seeing that, like what, 3 times now I've said that, seen that. House and or property becoming more apparent. Looking good. Letter C that's involved with that. PC. The letters P and or C. PC. Conclusion that involves people talking. Communication. Bit of a party. Having fun with the open house. Okay, now we are just about heading into the base. Partnerships that involve some kind of transformation, creating something new, forging something, creating something new. Also involving abundance and prosperity and possibly a new partnership too. Possibly. And like a partnership could be anything from a new friend to whatever the case is. A new association, a new partnership of some kind. Okay, now we're heading into the base. Okay, one of the sections near the beginning of the month, end of the month rather, that involves a lot of communication, thinking, and talking. That scenario specifically leads into the base. Now the base, oh, that's really interesting. Oh, okay. Whatever is taking place at the end of the month heading into June, it's forming a half of a tree. If you look in the base, you can see the cluster. See how it's like the tree trunk is very tiny at the bottom, and then there's the tree top is the main section. You sort of see that? Whatever this is referring to, there's some kind of a major, very significant abundance and prosperity that is taking place near the end of this month, heading into June. It's just that it's not fully formed yet, which makes sense because it hasn't happened yet. But it does look very promising, and whatever the scenario is, it's very, very, very positive. There is an independent thought that's associated with that, as well as partnerships. Number 3 is involved with that as well. I can't see a lot of what is taking place within it because it is so tightly grouped. It is supposed to be a surprise. But I can say that there's a lot of partnerships that are involved in that, as well as a woman specifically. Something to do with possible additions to the family and or money involved. I would say, if anything, someone may be experiencing a new addition to the family, like in terms of a child coming in. End of month, heading into June.
No, that starts with smooches.
Maybe that was the last. That's a quick turnaround, though. But yes, we had smooches last time. Maybe that open communication is a little bit more than open communication.
Have a baby come in, there's got to be some smooches. So to start that process, so
retroactive smooches has to happen somewhere. But yeah, I mean, looks positive. Whatever this scenario is, this goodness, this surprise, I mean, it's taking up almost half of the base. So again, whatever this is referring to, it is a highly significant, really good situation, essentially. I don't know what else I can say regarding that other than it's highly positive. There's going to be likely some money and or conversations involved right before it takes place. Messages, news, and or information that's happening quickly. Someone also who's likely an air sign that's involved in that in some way, shape, or form, likely a woman. A lot of women in this one, as well as reassurance regarding that specifically. Small reminder for perception or perspective. Open communication. This may sound very random. I'm actually seeing like a purse or a shopping bag. Maybe some shopping that's involved in this whole scenario. Number 3, house and or home. And some kind of, again, some kind of new beginning, a creative project, creativity, whether this is physical children and or creativity, creating something new. But that one also involves a conclusion and or C and or G and or a new beginning of some kind. Tea leaf reading is such an and or. There's a lot of different, there's an opportunity potentially that involves all of what I just said, C, G, and multiple opportunities. So for example, someone gets a promotion. As part of a promotion, they get a job, they get a raise, they get a company car, they get a, there's multiple things that come with that one opportunity. Okay. Aside from that, there's just a lot of thinking and talking, but also much more of a quiet time at the end of the month heading into June. So I think generally overall, we are going to be able to pace ourselves. We're not really going to be, we're going to be able to focus on what we need to focus on, but not be completely stressed out. And we are going to, again, pace ourselves and have some quiet time too. But there's a lot of conversations. There's a lot of helpful people, a lot of people openly communicating and forming a partnership that involves the letter M and E. It's some kind of reassurance, but also messages, news, and or information that is coming to, like, that people, someone is receiving good news. But there's a letter M definitely involved in that, M and E, abundance and prosperity. So even though there's a one main abundance and prosperity, aside from that, in more of the time where there's a lot of communication, there's also small, again, like what's in this entire side here, smaller individual events that are abundant and prosperous as well. Action, speed, momentum, happiness, a new beginning of some kind. Okay, now we have 2 people closely dancing. All right, there's your smooch. Found it. This is the place.
Right at the bottom there, we've got the smoochers closely dancing, the front hug, right? Dancing. Is that what you call it in the tea leaf reading?
It's not quite X, I've seen more X-rated than that, but yes, we're in that territory. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
We'll take it.
Yep. Well, yeah. And there's abundance and prosperity regarding that, and it's something to do with a new partnership. And there's a conclusion and a new opportunity, and it's related to a letter W and a heart. So yes, I think that does look like a very good scenario. Joyousness, yeah, that actually may result potentially in a child, which would make sense. There's a lot of happiness regarding that whole scenario. Specifically the smooching, yeah.
Well, I'm very happy. That's at the 15-minute mark, girl. The 30-minute mark. So
perfect.
That we love a good romance. We love a good abundant smooching, and that is awesome. That sounds like an exciting month. We've got a lot.
It does. It's a lot happening. I mean, generally speaking, we are going to have enough time to pace ourselves as the month progresses. It's just that we're going to be busy, especially, like, I would say during the middle of the month onwards for about a week or so. But it's going to be busy, but we're not going to be we're going to be able to pace ourselves and not be completely stressed out. Focus on what we need to focus on, not be pulled in many directions for very long. So it's almost like a bit of a reprieve, kind of, in a way.
Yeah. And that's interesting. Nice. Like the project coming into June too. It's very, very fascinating. I will say right now, guys, we're in Mercury retrograde, and so we always think about the bad things with retrograde, like computer equipment messing up, cell phones messing up, miscommunication, that kind of thing. But also with Mercury retrograde, it's also a really good time for projects to be finalized and something you've been needing to do. And it's so funny because I'm actually in the process of moving, but I don't know where I'm moving yet. And I was just saying to someone, I was like, I don't know, it's Mercury retrograde. Should I wait? And that person was like, no, actually right now is a really good time to finish it up because you've been talking about this for a while. So that's what I'm saying, guys. So be careful signing new contracts. But if this is something that's been in the
Mhm.
works for a while, Mercury retrograde is a really good time to like be,
Absolutely.
you
And
know,
it's like what they say, it starts with an RE. So it's like redo, revision, renovate, rethink, relocate, whatever the case is.
yeah.
Absolutely. I'm kind of in the process of that in a very small way myself. So it's a good time to do those things, using the energy for good, not being scared of retrograde, Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, never.
Things happen.
Yeah,
Clearly, things happen.
and if you can take Mercury retrograde with for what it is, and your circle of friends know, like
Mm-hmm.
miscommunication could happen. Like if someone doesn't email you back right away, I feel like sometimes in Mercury retrograde, I'm walking through like quicksand. Like
Yeah.
everything just slows down for me, and so you take it
Yeah.
as okay, well maybe I need to slow down during this time. Maybe I need to like not put as many videos out during this time. Maybe
Exactly.
the universe is always working in your favor, believe it or not.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you know, yeah.
Without question.
So I know, Sarah, I'm actually going to pull your channel up again. Hold on for one
Aw.
second because you said that you are releasing. You said you had a what you're doing bi-weekly, right?
I do bi-weekly tea leaf readings, and I finally got them. Talking about Mercury retrograde, yes, I got them all uploaded. Got 3 of them uploaded. I think it was last week. So I finally got them. I just had delay after delay after delay for about a month, most of March, so or April rather. So I was able to get them up.
And it's kind of nice. I know this especially because I'm a big fan of the I Ching as well.
Mm.
And Sarah, off camera, if you ever want an I Ching reading, let me know.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. Absolutely, would love it.
Interesting because the I Ching works a little differently. Actually, tea leaf reading kind of reminds me more like the I Ching because the I Ching
Interesting.
you like a hexagram, which leads to like a scenario, like this could happen, and here are the changing lines. So if you do
Oh, okay.
this could happen, but if you do this, this could happen. And
That sounds
so,
just like tea leaf reading now.
yeah, it's interesting with these readings to go back and look back,
Hmm.
see like what was actually being told to you when you actually have all the information in your current existence, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, I did actually think about one of the tea leaf readings I posted retroactively. I think it was this past weekend. I went, oh yeah, that actually makes complete sense. But it's looking back at it, and one of my friends actually was looking at my meetings, the videos there the other day, and she said, "Yep, makes sense."
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw last month all the people that chimed in the comment section to say, "Oh my God." So I'm going to
Yes.
ask you if you want to share, like you don't obviously don't have to share if you don't want to, but let us know like what in the reading like
Mm-hmm.
really caught your attention. I noticed that there was a lot of W's being said, and my last name is Watson.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
So let us know, guys, like what were you catching in this? Because just because we often think of like our first name, the letter being shown, but sometimes it will be like your last name, right? Or something. So,
Yeah.
so
Or
let us
one or one letter within the name, because sometimes people will think, like I know in tea leafing, some people will say, "Oh, it's the first letter of the person's first name." To me, I just learned it very early on. It's somewhere in the name. That's just
yeah,
how I
somewhere.
do it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you said E a few times. My middle name is Elizabeth, and I always like and E at the end of Brice, and I have that in my private life. I have, and I think I have it on my social media too. I always put my full name because when I was a kid, now when I was really little, like being put into the boys' cabinet camp was horrifying. As a teenager, I would have loved it. But just so people know I'm a female, I always put my middle name there so they know that
right,
I am a female. I'm
right.
not a male, I'm a female. Brice is actually, I was supposed to be Elizabeth Brice Watson, but when my mother was pregnant with me, all of her girlfriends who were also pregnant were going to be naming their daughters Elizabeth. So she
Oh,
flipped
wow.
them.
That's cute.
If I'm
Well,
honest, though, my mama really wanted to name me Laura from a character from Dr. Zhivago, which was like her favorite story. But my grandmama came in and said, absolutely not.
no, no, Laura.
She's like, you're
That's
not
cute.
naming her after a
My
character.
my middle name is Jane. So
There you
Jane.
go.
So there's J, there's an E, there, yeah.
This J came up as well. And I know M
Mhm.
comes out a lot. If you said Magdalene, and people in the comment section have been mentioning that. Like it's like the
Yeah,
Magdalene like behind, but it could also be
absolutely.
Meredith. It could all, depends on your situation and what is really
It,
igniting you.
exactly. Like someone may be working with a realtor whose name is May, or
Yeah,
someone or or the realtor has the letter M in there somewhere. So for
that's
me,
my
I'm just
niece.
like keep it.
My niece's name.
Sorry.
My niece, her name is May.
Oh, that's neat. Oh, that's
She's
so cool.
two. She's two. Oh, she will
Oh,
be
she's super
too soon.
little.
So she's not. I don't think she's the helping hand coming along at this point. Girl can't even go to
Probably
the
not.
bathroom by herself at this point. But her name is
Oh,
her name is
little
May.
me.
Yeah,
That's cute. Yeah. You never know. So I just keep an open mind and just see what happens.
what
And
happens?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting though. And I'm excited to see that tree though, because that's very intriguing for me.
Yeah, let's hold on to that. Let's remember that. So when we do for June at the
Yeah.
end of May, let's do for June and see what excuse me, see what transpires with that tree. Because usually when you show that picture, when you show us the tea leaves, I'm like, oh, I just see some tea leaves. But when you explain the tree, I actually could see the tree. So
You can see it.
yeah,
The trunk is very small, but like to me, this tree is, for example, is pretty much half formed in from how I see it. So when I see a half formed tree, it just means that whatever that this abundance and prosperity is, it's still forming,
that's
but
exciting.
it's exciting. Like I'm always happy when I see trees at the base because it means like, oh, abundance and prosperity is on the way. Whatever it is highly significant, and it's huge. So when it does like fully formed, it would take up about three-quarters of the base, I would say. So it is going to be, as of right now, this moment in time, it's showing that this is going to be quite an eventful and happy and good end of May and heading into June.
You know what I was
So,
thinking as you were saying that? I might title the video this, one of my favorite quotes. In the end, it's all okay. If it's not
mm.
okay, it's not the end.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So if it's
That
not
is
okay,
really
it's
good.
not the
I
end.
love it. I love it. It's so true, though. We make things, I think, I've said this before to other clients, but sometimes I think we just make things so complicated sometimes when really it's so simple. The simple is sometimes the best way. It, I love that. I think that's such a beautiful quote. It's so powerful.
In the end, it's all okay. If it's not
Yep,
okay, it's not the end.
it's not the end. Keep going. Don't stop.
You know, with what's it Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going.
Keep
Just keep
going.
going. Put one foot in front of the other. Another one of my favorite quotes I said this morning on Aquarius Rising Africa, doesn't matter how fast you're going when you're going in the wrong direction. Likewise,
Mhm.
doesn't matter how slow you're going when you're going in the right direction. So just keep going. Not okay.
It's all, yeah, it's true. It's all relative. It's just keep doing what you need to do for yourself. I think I've said that to my clients too. Like, I think one thing that I need to most say in my life so far when reading for clients is just do what you feel is right.
Yeah.
Again, I think we just overcomplicate things so easily. I know I do get in my head like, oh, Sarah, just calm down. You're totally fine. It's okay. It's all right.
Okay. It's all
Just
happening.
don't stop. Just big breaths, calm down. You're fine. Keep going. Everything's gonna be okay. You're here. You're alive. You can. It's not. The world is not over yet. You can still keep going. Just don't stop.
And I'll
Don't give
tell you
up.
guys, I wasn't
Don't
going to
give up.
say anything publicly, but I'm just kind of feeling inclined to say this because sometimes I think when you're in the thick of something, you have a hard time seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So
100%.
last night, I we got notified when lockdown first happened. I received a lot of people that I work with in Atlanta received some abuse from trying to be careful how I say this on YouTube from the other side because we refused to play along. And we
Right.
had our stance that no, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep this is ridiculous. Like part of yoga is learning to see the truth through the illusion. If you can't see the truth through this illusion, I don't know what you've been doing on your yoga mat all these years. You know, you have people like Kino McGregor, who is a very famous Ashtanga teacher, and I really like Kino. I've met Kino quite a few times. I think she's a great person. However, when all this happened, she was really promoting the opposite of what
Mm,
we were promoting. She wanted people to get this, checking the temperatures at the, paperwork, all that. I'm trying to be careful what I say, guys. And
mhm.
and she's a certified, I'm authorized. She's one of like the hot, top dog teachers. And
Okay.
she's made it really far in the asana practice. And when that happened, I don't want to say I lost respect for her. Like, I still respect her as a human, but there's nothing I can learn from her. because I
No.
realized in that moment that what have you been doing all the you can learn all these yoga poses, you can learn all the Sanskrit, you can write these, she's written multiple books, but obviously this stuff hasn't like integrated into you because you can't see the damn truth of the
Mm-hmm.
illusion. So basically all you've been doing on your mat for 20 years, in my opinion, is gymnastics. And so,
Yeah.
but when we stood our ground and said, no, this isn't right, we got a lot of pushback. But
I'm
we got
sure.
a message last night from other higher up teachers that really made a huge difference for us because
Oh.
they were saying that they noticed we became way showers, that a lot of people in our
That's
community
so
saw
good.
us standing up for the truth and decided to stand up for the truth as well. And it was because of what we had done in Atlanta. And we didn't know
That's
that at the
amazing.
time. We were just so focused on the abuse that we didn't realize there were all these other people that were watching us take
Mm.
the abuse and continue to move forward, continue to stand up for what was right. And it inspired them to do it too.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying that because even in your darkest of times, guys,
Mm-hmm.
there's always light. And even though it's so easy, I mean, I had people texting me, harassing me from the Ashtanga community, wanting to have my authorization revoked
That's awful.
just because of standing up. You know, it was a horrible, it never happened, but it was horrible.
No.
And so my mess in that saying that, like, I, you know, with Keno McGregor, like, I think you're a great person, but in my opinion, you're not a yoga teacher. You showed your
Mm.
true colors. You haven't been doing yoga. And so I'm going to say that with confidence. There's nothing, I will not buy any more of your books. There's nothing I can learn from you because all you've been doing is gymnastics. Yeah, great. You can stand up with your leg behind your head. So can I. What does it matter if you haven't been actually doing the practice? And so I want to tell people, using that as an example, just keep going. Stand up for what is right.
Yeah.
Stand up for what is right. Even, you know, that's being brave too. Like nothing
Hmm.
is to me one of the least attractive qualities of people is being a coward. Like
Yeah.
cowardness is something that I find so unattractive. When somebody's brave, even when they're shaking and they're wobbling and standing up for the truth, that is so sexy and that is so appealing. And so key,
Hmm.
and I know, guys, listen, Sarah and I know most people know, like it's hard. It's hard to be that opposite, especially when you're
It's
really
hard.
not trying to bother anybody. You're just standing up for the truth and keeping your business open. It's
Hmm.
hard. And I will say, so if we have anybody watching from Toronto right now I know multiple teachers and Ashtanga teachers in Toronto, but the
Okay.
teachers I know in Toronto were pretty cowardly when this lockdown happened. But apparently, there's one Ashtanga teacher, and I don't know who it is. I would love to know who it is because I would love to bring
Mhm.
you on the show. I would love to talk to you. There's an
Okay.
Ashtanga teacher in Toronto that during the real intense moments of 2020,
Hmm.
we'll say, was getting up every morning, opening his shala, and then he was getting arrested for it. And they would release him, and guess
Mm.
what? He'd get up and do it again every
Wow.
morning. And you,
That's
sir,
bravery.
ma'am, I think it's a man, I think it was a male teacher, you, sir, to me, you're a badass. And I applaud you because you are far braver than we were down here in Atlanta because we never had
Wow.
the threat of an arrest in Georgia. So the fact that you got up every single morning knowing you were going to get arrested and you did it anyway because you could see the truth, my hat's off to you. Contact me because I would
Absolutely.
love, as a colleague of yours in the Ashtanga world, I would love to support your shala, advertise you, do whatever I can do with my platform to help you out because that is bravery for that man to do that. I think it was a man. I might, if I'm mistaken, it was a female. But there's multiple authorized Ashtanga teachers in Toronto. Cities usually have quite a few. The ones
Mhm.
I know, that wasn't them. So yeah. So, but keep
I'm
going.
not remembering. No, I don't remember. If I heard of it, I don't remember.
It's probably, yeah, it'd probably be a very obscure group because most people do fake yoga anyway. Like a very small percentage of people in the world actually do real yoga. This would be somebody that's opening up their shalas at like the crack of dawn because that's when we practice as Brahma Muhurta. So,
Okay.
so yeah, let me know if you guys know who that is or if that person's
Yeah.
watching right now. Like,
Mhm.
contact me, and I would love to support you
Amazing.
because that's brave. And that's what
Definitely.
I'm saying, guys. Like, even when you're doing hard things and you're standing up for the truth and you feel like it's a losing battle, just keep going because
Mhm.
you don't know when you're going to get that text that says, just so you know, you're kind of a hero for a lot of people.
Absolutely. In whatever scenario that is. Even
Exactly.
if it's like, even if it's like you doing like your own personal inner shadow work, and you're doing something that you know you need to do for yourself, but you're shaking. Like I went through that before, and like, I'm literally sitting there shaking. But I'm like, Sarah, just calm down. Like you're learning from this. Just you're fine. You're okay. Don't stop. You have to go through this. You have to go through this experience just to help heal yourself. And
Yeah.
I was in no danger at all. I was just going through. Like, it was something that I had to go through, but it helps to heal. So when you get through there and you get past that point, and you're like, I can do this. Doing something that you don't think that you can do because you think that you're afraid or you've been traumatized, whatever the case is. Just having that courage, that bravery, and saying just one step at a time and being gentle with yourself and upbraiding yourself. That's something that I am totally do. And I'm always working on myself to not beat myself up. But that's something that I do. So I'm like, okay, just calm down. You're fine. Just all is well. One
Just
step at a
breathe.
time.
Oh,
You're
there were
good.
so many times when I was
Talk
first
yourself
getting
down.
threatened with the yoga stuff, right when I first put myself on YouTube and I was getting that behind the scenes, I would spend my days like shaking because I it felt like a
Talk.
bullying, it felt like abuse, it felt like I
Yep.
was going to get punished for not going with the narrative, which literally yoga people, the ancient yogis were the original conspiracy theorists.
Mm,
They were like, something's not right here, guys. And so they started studying the human mind and came up with the idea that our whole world's an illusion, so that literally, like, that's why the whole point of a spiritual practice is to see the truth through the illusion. The first truth you see is your own
yep.
truth through your own
Yep.
illusion. And it helps you see the truth in general. So if you're a yoga
Mm,
person and you fell for the bullshit of 2020, you need to reevaluate your practice because something's not connecting. Some wires are not connecting, right? And yoga people have, and that's we were talking about that earlier today with this. Like
mm,
you have all these yoga people who are vegan, Ayurvedic, totally holistic, and then all of a sudden they're like this with this one that's big popular now, we'll say, and it's like,
right.
what is
And like,
happening?
mm,
All your credibility just went down the toilet. I don't want to hear. I don't want to go to an Ayurvedic workshop from you because your word means nothing now because you went and forced people to get this.
yeah,
So I don't. So
totally hear what you're
you
saying.
obviously don't believe what you're teaching. If you believe medicine, if food can be thy medicine, and you can, if you
I hear
obviously
what you're
don't
saying.
believe that.
Yeah.
So why am I going to go take a course from you if you? I actually believe what I teach. I live by the dosha system, right? I haven't had one of these since high school. Like
Me
so
either.
yeah, so keep standing up for what's right, guys, even when it's hard, because you never know when justice is being served. And this month, I will say, as of like this week, there's a lot that's been happening in my personal life. Sarah knows some of what's going on, that right now I'm going, okay, justice is about to be served. I got notified of some stuff that was like, here it comes. Justice is about to be served. Sometimes the wheels of justice work slowly, but karma always plays itself out. So just keep going, guys, because if
Always.
it's not okay, it's not the end.
Exactly. Exactly. And case in point, I saw a couple faces. Like when I say matter of perspective, it's matter of perspective or perception, glass half full versus glass half empty. It's because I'm seeing a face that's not a happy face.
Yeah.
In my own case, in tea leaf reading, I'm saying the same message. I'm just putting the positive spin on it. Don't give up. Just look at the other happy faces that are literally right beside you. Look at all the wonderful things in the tea leaf reading that are right around this face. That's going. "Hmm." Well, there's a lot of other things that you can focus on rather than that one thing that's upsetting you or whatever the case is. Just it's not about like, I don't think it's either about whitewashing things or censoring things or thinking, oh no, it's fine, and sweeping things under the rug. No. Acknowledge what's going on. I'm not saying turn a blind eye. I'm just saying also have the full awareness that yes, that's happening, but also there's really great and wonderful things that are happening over here. Let's focus on that and keep going. Don't get bogged down by that one text, that one thing, that one email, that one thing, and just stay true to yourself. If it feels right to you, my mom Heather says, trust your gut. If
Yeah.
your tummy's talking to you, don't do it. If your tummy's talking to you in a certain way, then do it. Mom Heather,
Yeah.
famous Mom Heather,
She's awesome. She's awesome.
Mom
All
Heather.
right, you guys. Well, let us know down in the comment section below and share with us if you feel like sharing any stories of where you were going through a hard time and it paid off, just to help our fellow humans gather some strength for those that are going through hard times right now. Just keep going. Stand up for what's right. That's what bravery is not. Bravery is like being afraid and doing it anyway. That's what being brave is. If you're not afraid and you do something, then you're not being brave, right? It's not
I yeah. I have a tapestry that I actually got at the Yoga International show many years ago, and in Toronto, and it says courage, not the absence of fear or despair, but the courage to overcome them, for the bravery to overcome them. So feel the fear, and obviously, I know that's a whole other topic too, but sometimes fear is divine guidance to not do something, but sometimes fear is simply just a gut reaction that you're having. So just feel the fear and do it anyway.
That's so brave. Like I don't, I'm not afraid to be on YouTube. Like this isn't brave for me. Sarah and I are used to filming now, so this is just a day in the life. But like doing something that's hard, but doing it anyway because you know it's right. You're gonna still feel that fear. You're gonna still feel that trepidation, and your knees might start
100%.
shaking. Just keep
100%. Just
keep
keep
going.
going
It's gonna pay
because you
off.
never know. It's going to pay off, and you never know what's around the corner, except we kind of do. So just
You never know who's watching that you're inspiring.
exactly.
You're
It's
inspiring
true.
somebody and you're not even aware. So you keep going, guys.
Yeah.
That is awesome, Sarah. Again, you guys, make sure you check out her channel. If you're not
Oh,
subscribed, get
thank you.
subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, and check out our website so you too can get your own private tea leaf reading.
Thank
We will
you.
be we'll be back soon, guys. Bye,
100%.
everybody.
Bye.